welcome back to the garage, everyone. Today is a beautiful Sunday here in central Alabama, and it's a fantastic day to break down because you forgot to change the fuel pump in your truck. All right, welcome back to the garage, everyone. You're in for a real treat because today we're going to hypermile a 496 big block. All right, tripometer, we'll go ahead and reset that down to 0. Let's get some fuel. All right, we're going to go ahead and stick with the good old basic 87 octane. Looks like it's 4.36 a gallon today. All right, here we go. This pump's a little slow, so we may be here a while. You guys know any good show tunes? Got 40 PSI in the tires all the way around today. If you run it up past that, if you run it to, I think the max is a lot higher than that, but if you get any higher, just the ride is awful. I mean, I suppose I could get more air in the tires, you know, maybe put 50 or 60 in there, but I'm not going to do that. I think 40 is good enough. Hey, look at that, 12 gallons already. Woohoo! Yeah, these pumps, I don't know what the deal is with the pumps here at this particular Walmart market, but they're a little slow. So today we're looking at 436.9 on gas. All right, it says 20.8 gallons. I was expecting a little more. Let's go ahead and give her another dose here, and we'll give it another dose and maybe one more. All right, that's good enough. All right, 21.249 gallons at $92.84. I call that a bargain any day of the week. All right, let's hit the road. We're headed back to Nashville, Tennessee. Gonna go visit Carport Forge today and see what's on the agenda. We may be bending some steel or doing some welding or putting a finishing edge on a knife or something similar to that. I'm at a stopping point on the Mercedes sliding roof maintenance project right now, so I'm waiting on that one little felt foot to come into the dealership. It was supposed to be in today. They said he would call me, but it's, you know, it's probably going to be Monday, to be honest. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'll just wait until Monday and I'll go check, and it'll probably be there by then, and then we can finish up. I started off the day thinking, well, you know what, maybe I'll do a video on maybe hypermiling the 496 big block in this pickup truck, but well, I got impatient. You know, I thought, well, you know what, I'll just do 65 today and turn off the engine at red lights and things like that, you know, and you know, with gas being so expensive, you know. But you know what, human nature is just, it's just the way it is. So I just said, you know what, to heck with that. I'm just going to drive the way I drive, which I don't drive fast, not really. So we're just going to see what we get on this nice little highway venture. I'm going to check the mileage and the big motor here. I didn't buy this truck to get good mileage. I bought it because I thought it was cool. I freely admit that. I bought this pickup truck because I thought it was cool. And I still do. I like this truck. It's blue. I like a nice blue truck. And it has the largest V8 motor ever fitted to a production Chevrolet car. At least I think so. 8.1 liters. What's not to like about that? And also has the 5-speed Allison transmission, which I love. Especially the downhill thing, right? Because it's meant for towing, you know. If you're freewheeling downhill and then you touch the brake, you hold the brake for say 2 or 3 seconds and then let off, the transmission goes, I'm going downhill. He wants to slow down. Transmission will shift from overdrive down into fourth for you, or maybe down into third to slow you down. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about it. It's great. So I got this truck at about 117,000. Let's see. It's got 147.5 on it now. So 25, 27, around 27,000 miles I've put on it, which is not a lot. I've had it for like 5 years, or is it 6? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. It's just a number. Oh man, it's just a number. It's like, you know, it's some stuff. They're doing road construction somewhere. I'm all over the place. And I'm too cheap to buy a camera mount for my GoPro, so I've got it wedged against the steering, the windshield. Seems to be working pretty well though. So when I get back, we're going to put that sliding roof back together, aka sunroof. And after that, we're going to move on to something bigger and better. I told you about the rust hole in the right rear of the Mercedes. It's above the bumper. I think it's where the rear taillight seals were leaking. So I think that's probably the root cause of that. But that's going to require the bumper to come off, and we'll have to replace some metal right there below the rear taillight. Not a huge deal. I've done that kind of work before. You know, you've probably seen it if you watched the rear window rust repair job on the Mercedes. I've also done it on a couple of other cars as well. It's not, you know, people kind of shy away from, oh, it's got a rust hole in it, I'm not touching that. What's the big deal? You know what? Just go buy a welder and learn how to fix it. That's what I did years ago. It's not that hard. It just isn't. You can't be afraid of stuff like that. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. I am slowly doing I guess really what I'm doing is I'm slowly doing a rolling restoration of both the Mercedes, the coach or the motorhome, and the old Cadillac. The Cadillac's a lot slower. So anyway, and I wanted to get the engine rebuilt in the Corvette, but I haven't gotten around to it. I have had too many irons in the fire. But if we're going to take our motorhome on vacation this summer, I'm going to get my dash air conditioner fixed. If you're in an RV with a big windscreen and it, you know, it's bad. So of course we had the roof units running, but up front it was pretty miserable. Anyway, so I'm going to fix my RV dash air conditioner, and it's made by Evans Tempcon. Now, they were bought out by a company called either Coda or Yoda, and they have a division called Pro Air. What they've done is they've taken all the old Tempcon, Evans Tempcon troubleshooting and documentation and everything, and they got it right there on their website. It's fantastic. I put a can of Freon in it the other day and I fired it up. The compressor came on, but my pressures were like 85 and 85 on both the low and the high side. So I think I've got a blockage in the system somewhere. So I think what I'm going to do, maybe I'll get lucky, I'll just replace the dryer or the accumulator, you know, that can looking thing, flush out the condenser and the evaporator, and then of course put new O-rings. I forgot what I was saying now because I got a phone call. Flush out the condenser, flush out the evaporator, put new O-rings on all the lines, replace the receiver dryer, or accumulator, I think is another word for it, anyway, and refill it with refrigerant, see what happens. Got to find a way to recover the refrigerant that's in there, you know, properly. It may have some water, may have some air in the system, and if that's the case, you know, it just won't work right. So it's best to probably just evacuate the system and then refill it. That's a given anyway when you're doing air conditioning work. So I'd really want to get that dashboard air conditioner working, and if I do that, I think that will be the only other thing that doesn't work, I think, is the map light. Got to replace some windows. Got some fog in some of the windows. It's a common RV thing, but I was trying to figure out a clever way to get the fog out from between the windows, but I really think the only way to do it is either to completely disassemble the window, remove it, and disassemble it, and then address the fog situation, clean it up real good, seal it, reassemble it, and put it back in, or just buy another one. Let's see, after we get the air conditioner fixed in the coach, I think I want to finally address that little bit of a miss we have in the old Cadillac. We've improved the situation quite a bit over the last year or so with, you know, trying to do external things. I cleaned the intake valves thoroughly. I mean, they're just spotless, but that didn't fix the problem. The problem is either it's either something to do with a lifter. We may have a sticking lifter or two, bent push rod maybe. I think probably what I'll do is get the intake manifold back off of that car, pull the lifters out, and just basically rebuild them, refurbish them, take them apart, clean them up, make sure they're good to go. I don't see why we can't reuse them, rebuild them. Of course, assuming that there's no wear, right? So if I find wear, that's a different story that we'll have to address. But the car's only got 100,000 miles on it. You know, unless it was abused or the oil was never changed or it ran low on oil, or, you know, usually you got to really do something stupid or really torture a motor to get, you know, bad wear like that out of 100,000 miles. So that car's been babied all its life. I don't think we're going to find that. We could, but I don't think we will. So let's cross our fingers on that one. Getting back over to the 300SD, the driver's side door check strap needs to be addressed. I think I've probably discussed this in a previous vlog video. The check strap mounting point on the A pillar is detached from inside. And I've got to get in there and I've got to take the inner kick panel off and get back in there behind it and see what the deal is. I don't know. I'm assuming that it's spot welded in there. It looks like somebody has been in there before me because the sheet metal looks fatigued right there. If I had to take a guess, I would say somebody opened the door too widely, you know, far too wide, or put too much pressure on it and kind of stretched that metal in the A pillar. This car spent a lot of time in a carport before I bought it, and a couple of teenage girls learned to drive on it, which I'm glad it wasn't teenage boys, because they, you know, they're pretty hard on vehicles. I bought the car from a really nice family, and I developed a good dialogue with them before I bought it. And that's the kind of thing you want to do. You know, you see some of these car dealers on the YouTube that buy and sell vehicles and classic cars, and you know, the good ones always establish a dialogue with a buyer, with a seller. You get a nice story, a human interest story. You know, it might involve, you know, relatives and careers and technologies and social conditions, and you know, oh, my dad was in the war and he tried to work on this car but he couldn't, but we really need to sell it now and it needs to go to a good home. You know, stuff like that, right? That is what, you know, that's what the car community is good about. It's all about the people and the cars, I guess you might say. That's what I like about Woods and Barclay, man. You see John out roaming around the USA trying to find an old Mercedes diesel, and you know, he develops a good rapport with the seller and talks to him, learns about the car, and works his butt off to refurbish it and sell it on to somebody who could really love the vehicle, you know. And it doesn't have to be a Mercedes, you know. It could be any car. It could be any car, except for maybe a Yugo. That wouldn't work out. Well, the Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick holds a special place in my heart, actually. It wins the Impala Man's Garage for ugliest vehicle ever created. I'll go to the mat on that one. It's even worse than the... Now, well, I take that back. The AMC Matador Barcelona package. Mid-70s, right? AMC Matador 2-door coupe Barcelona package with the really ridiculously long bumpers. That and the Ford Maverick. I'm telling you, that's the bottom of the barrel right there. Prove me wrong. I'd rather drive a Pontiac Aztec. It'd go faster. All right. Hey, the sun came out in Nashville. How about that? Exit 67. We're coming up. We're on North 65 here. All right. Well, anyway, got another phone call. It's been a busy day, and so yeah, I got to get that door check strap replaced, and I need to fix that sheet metal right in there in the door jamb. You know, I fixed up the C-pillar covers a while back when I did the back glass, and they were basically destroyed. I mean, the plastic was just... I tried to repair it with some sheet metal and some JB Weld, but it didn't hold really well. So I'm going to, I'm going to try fiberglass. I'm going to try that next. Or maybe see if I can't find some used ones online that are in better condition than the ones I have. Because the ham-fisted buffoon that took the back glass out the last time just basically grabbed it and just ripped it out and, you know, tore it up. So,
all right, this is Mac Barnes, Carport Forge. I want to thank Impala Man for helping me replace my crankshaft position sensor. Over here, this Nissan 2015 Frontier. I love this truck. But last week, time or two before, I'm driving, all of a sudden it just kind of like stops, like shuts off. Kind of scares a novice like me who doesn't know anything about cars. And so I was freaking out. I call up 911 and I put the phone down and says, I got something better. I call Impala Man's garage. So he come on up here and he says, just calm down, man. So I spent a few bucks buying one of those little plug-in sensor things you put in your car. And then he predicted before I even turned it in, it'd be one of three things. He called it. We went to AutoZone. Thank you, AutoZone. And we replaced it. And he made me get in there. And you need a 10 millimeter socket wrench with an extension, which, yes, I have, right? I'm not completely without skills. Thank you, Impala Man. So now I'm going to try out a new toy, Harbor Freight, one of these little chainsaw things. We'll see how this works. This is a piece of persimmon. Fell down from that tree down there last August, and so it's been drying for about a year. Persimmon's a very hard wood. We're going to see how this goes.
That didn't work out very well, did it?
All right. Not too bad. Yeah, it's meant for like sort of carving stuff. So like if I want to kind of shave this off, I would do.
What if you were to take the blade and come at it like this? That's pretty cool. You can do a lot of what I'm going to expect a totem pole, actually.
One thing you need is gloves, face mask. Yes, eye protection. You know, so these good. You need a wraparound. I've got my safety glasses over here. Always wear eye protection. Absolutely. Always.
Absolutely.
This right here is probably not good because it's coming from the side. So I'm going to swap this out here. Get a cup of coffee. I'm not jittery enough to use a chainsaw.
I like your new additions here. Your bolt containers down here.
Why, yes. Okay. You've got new and cheap, and you've got old and cheap. Old and cheap sometimes works. A person I know, his cleaning out this old house, family. His dad died a long time ago, was a pipe fitter for DuPont. So I've gotten all this cool stuff, and it's like a little Lazy Susan. Yeah. Instead of putting in spice racks, I'm gonna put in bolts and, you know, various tools, things.
Looks like it came out of a hardware store.
It probably did, knowing this guy. And I got several really cool things. These are hole cutters.
Yeah.
And you got different sizes if you want to cut like a doorknob or something.
Where's the brand on these things?
I don't know, but it's made in America. Made in America.
Made in the USA, made by Nicholson. Yeah, this is good stuff.
And like I said, I got all these bits.
You know your drill bits are high quality when they come in individual sleeves. Carbide tipped, Greenfield tap and die.
Super Morse carbide tools.
Greenfield, Massachusetts, made in USA. It's a number 735. Masonry, 6 inches.
Well,
This is good stuff.
It's good stuff, yeah. And I'm gonna keep this. And of course, I have a billion little nuts and bolts. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. I have various sizes.
Put them in your compartments over there.
I can do that. And I found a use for like bolts. For example, I'm a knife guy, knife and kind of blacksmithing stuff, and I'm learning the trade. And I found out that you can, let's say you need to do a rivet or like a pin or something, real simple. You get you a bolt, you just cut off this part here, you put it here in your Made in America, Columbia. Again, old. This is a massive. I can move the world with this thing.
This is from like the 30s, I think.
Yeah, it's
what is
old.
The number on this thing? That's a catalog number 203 and a half M2. Anyway.
That was big, but you know, you just put it in here, you cut this off, cut off both ends, boom, you got a rivet, whatever size you want. I got an old grinder. It's got 1 speed, on and off, or 2 speeds.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. And that's
Ram bench. Ram Tool Corporation, Chicago. Made in USA. Man, that is so cool. I love vintage stuff that's in good shape.
and it does work, so I'll probably crank that up and move it. So here you got some this is called a Spud Wrench. It's a Spud Wrench, and let's see.
That's a Williams, I think.
Yeah, Williams, forged, made in the USA. What they used to do is, this was used for building like bridges, like massive bridges. And when you're up there hanging on the side, and you got these big old steel plate rivets, well, when you got these holes, how you gonna line that up? Yeah, I mean, so you'd have to put this in there.
Shove it through there and give it a jiggle.
Somebody's up there and they put there, and then they throw the bolt through, and the other person up here. So it's really cool.
Man's tool.
Manly tool. We got all sorts of stuff here, and check this out.
Classic skill with an oddball looking plug on it that I'm gonna have to figure out. Oh, that's why the plug is so weird. This is a 115 volt drill. So back in the day, we didn't have 120 volts. We had 115. It changed over time. It started off at like lower voltages. As the 20th century came on, you know, you had 110, 115. And finally, we settled on 120, and we've been there for about 40 years.
Are you going to be able to use that?
I think it'll be fine. Just change the plug and it'll work. You ever wondered why you always hear people say, oh, that's a 110 outlet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 115.
Yeah.
You've also heard 120. The reason why you've heard that is because 110 and 115 is stuck in everybody's brain from 80 years ago or whatever.
Like on this old house.
They just still use it.
So when they go back and do these old houses, they'll still find
115 volt power in this country for, I don't know, 40 years or 50. It's a 120.
So everything's standard now.
Everything's standard at 120.
So if you ever come across something weird like this, it's like 3 prongs and they're all flat and they're all kind of.
That's a 115 volt plug.
150.
So this drill is probably
at least from the 50s.
I would say 1950s. I don't know, I'll have to look it up.
That's classic.
Hot though, man. Goodness gracious, it's in the sun, dude.
It'll be in the shade soon.
Anyway, let's go wrenches here, and they're all made in USA. I'm probably going to use these for decoration. All right, we're at a Love's, and we're looking at 465.9 for regular 87, and we are in southern Tennessee. Not that there's a whole lot of southern or northern Tennessee because it's long and skinny, but I digress. Just north of the Alabama border. Stopped at a Love's here. Still haven't found gasoline as cheap as it is near our house anywhere I've been. We're going to see what we're going to do with the old 496 big block here on our little weekend excursion to Nashville. And we're on our way home today. And we got Carport Forge pickup truck squared away. Just needed a new crankshaft position sensor. And away with a few classic and vintage antique tools, I think, for the shop. Got one surprise nestled back here in the back seat. And we're going to hang that up in Palaman's garage, and I think you guys will find it intriguing, maybe get a laugh out of it, or I don't know. We'll see. Let's give us a couple of final shoots here, and we'll give it one more. There we go. All right, 19.06 gallons, and let me do the mileage here real quick, and we'll get right back to you. All right, we got 274.6 miles, and we did 19.069 gallons on that little trip there. Divide that out. No, you got to be kidding. I'm going to do that again. 274.6, and then let me check it again. 19.069. 19.069. Divide that out. 14.4 MPG out of an 8.1 Vortec 496 big block Chevrolet. That is just phenomenal. Now, I drove pretty conservatively. I did about a 65 a lot of the way, and I never got above 75. So, man, that is just fantastic. Disregard the low fuel light. That's a Chevrolet anomaly. All right, guys, we'll be back here in just a little bit. All right, we're at Haas Automotive in Gardendale, Alabama, and they were able to fix the truck in a day, and I believe the key should be somewhere. All right, I had to go inside and get the key. They thought it was under the sun visor, but the guy had it inside. There we go. Fires right up, baby. Air conditioning, recirculation. All right, let's go home.